guys, random as fuck, I know. Long time coming, I should have been did this. But this is going to be a skin tutorial. I'm gonna be doing 3 different types. I don't know what the third one's gonna be. Recently, I got involved in the Procreate. I've been using the Cintiq before on Photoshop. I completely stopped using it. So now I'm using nothing but Procreate. I highly recommend any digital artist that steps into this field to get Procreate and just use that. You'll be much more efficient. You can draw anywhere besides being stuck at a fucking computer and just using Windows or Mac. So yeah, I would rather for you to do this. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys my process on how I do skin, because it's gonna be 3 different ways. I'm gonna start with cell shading. And then this other, for the second one, is a new form of technique that I use called semi-realism when it comes to anime. The second one is the one I normally use. I'm not giving you the finger, this is just the second one. But the second one is the one that I use when it comes to stickers. I think it makes it pop a little bit more. It makes it a little bit more vibrant, especially when the skin looks a little bit more realistic. I think it's gonna be very, very good for that. So I use that for that. And for prints or whatever, I might use cell shading or a mixture of the two. Without further ado, let's get into this. I got the popular Mitsuri for our candidate that we're gonna use for our model. Like, if you guys aren't aware, this picture that I just did, this is actually taken from JT Tuesday that I did. It's actually a traditional piece that I transferred to be digital. I'm not gonna create a whole different piece for this. I think that's just stupid. I'm lazy. But yeah, I also wanted to use this picture because obviously it has more skin. So it's gonna be very, very easy for me to teach you guys and for you to see exactly how I do it in 3 different styles. It's gonna be kind of cool. Oh yeah, meanwhile, if you guys wanna check how I do these pictures, follow me on Twitch. I live stream every single Tuesday. All right, let's hit it. Okay, so as you can see, I got my 3 Mitsuris up here. I'm gonna be starting with the middle one, of course. The middle one is gonna be, you know, I think that's front and center since my face is fucking right here. So I'm gonna start with the middle one. I'm gonna switch them out. So as I finish with one, I'm gonna switch the one out for the next one. The first one I'm gonna do is simple. It's gonna be the cell shading. Don't mind the hair, everything is flat. So if you guys wanna know how I did that, it's pretty simple. All I did was I just colored it in with one color and I use a flat tone. That's all I used. This tutorial is just going to teach you on how to do what I might do is I might skip ahead and just show you what I do bit by bit. But for the beginning part, because I think that's the most crucial part, is I'm going to show you exactly how I start and where I'm going to plan on where my shadows are going to go. Cell shading is very good for this. It's very simple. So there's only going to be like maybe 2 different tones that I'm going to do. And you're going to see exactly what those are. Watch this. Sometimes I like to play around with the tone to see exactly what I want. And I always go off what the base skin color is. So since her skin tone is kind of light, I kind of want it to be a little bit kind of orangish or a little bit of reddish. So maybe in between there. And I'm going to play with this a little bit too to see exactly if I want it to look like that, because we only got 1 tone to work with. So I'm going to do kind of right. We'll see how that looks. Let's try it. Yep, I think that's good. Okay. So yeah, we can do that. Looks nice. And of course, for the obvious parts, we're gonna do underneath the hair, underneath the neck, which is gonna be in here, probably on the other side of the arm right here. And then we're probably gonna do underneath the hair right here, of course. So yeah, these are the main parts I'm going to tackle, and then underneath the boobage, of course, and then all the rest underneath here. So watch this. Okay, so let me explain what I'm doing right now. Okay, so as you can see, every single area I attacked when it came to the shadows is literally obscured by something. Cell shading is meant to be extremely simple, and the reason why I use cell shading in animes is because it's good for animation purposes. It just gets the point across. You don't have to be too difficult when it comes to shadows and stuff like that. So this is what you would do if you were doing a simplistic version when it comes to animation and stuff. So you just want to attack exactly where the shadows, if something is casting something, a shadow goes there. It's as simple as that. With the other one that I'm going to do is going to be more difficult because this is more of an illustration type of way of shading. Let me finish this right quick. I'm going to attack probably underneath here, and I'm going to do the arm, and probably up here, and that'll basically be it. And I'll say, voila, we're done with the cell shading. Now, we're not going to do the hair. We're not going to do anything else. We just want to get the skin done. Now, there's other things you can do, too, to make the cell shading pop. There's a couple techniques I'm probably going to use. Now, I'm going to add some redness when it comes to the skin. And I normally do this with my cell shading because I like to add a little bit more life to it. So what I could do is I'm going to add probably a couple blushes, blemishes, and stuff like that, probably to the cheeks, to the elbows, and possibly to the knuckles and a couple other places. You're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. It's gonna just add more life. Watch this. Oh yeah, one more thing too. Do all this on separate layers. I made a mistake and put the shadow layer on the same layer as the skin flat. You wanna put it on a different layer. Work on separate layers. That way you can either darken it, lighten it, do whatever you want to it. So I would advise you to do it on the second layer, but even if you do it on the same layer, just be mindful of that. You still can work with it, but I would, it's better to just separate them completely. Separate everything. So we're gonna start with these blemishes. We're gonna do a little bit of redness. I'm gonna use my soft brush, which is kind of a faded spray brush too, but it's lighter. So I got more control over it. I'm gonna put little hints of red right there. Probably run along the skin right there as well. And then I'm gonna go to the cheeks, do the same thing. Just a little bit, not too much. That's too much actually. A little bit right there. A little bit right there. Bam. And then I'm gonna do probably some on knuckles on the side right there. Right there. And yeah, what I'm actually doing is make this a little bit lighter too. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. And just play with it a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? Like you're never gonna do it right the first time. Just keep on going back and forth, adjusting sliders, and try to get it right exactly how you want it to. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add highlights to the skin. It's gonna make it even more vibrant. So watch this. I'm gonna add another layer, put that on top. Clip mask it below. That means everything's attached to the skin layer. And then I'm gonna do add, not color dodge, I'm gonna do add. Add is very good for highlights. And I'm gonna go with a writing brush. And I'm gonna just click the darkest area that I can. Bam, click it like that. And I'm just gonna add little highlights. Like that. Very little. You need to choose exactly where you're gonna put it too. But I normally go for the elbows, the nose, of course. We're not gonna go too much and do it on the face. We can do that with the other one. And then of course right here. And right there. And now we're working with magic. Y'all probably can't see it because of the resolution of my screen, but I hope y'all can see it a little bit better. But yeah, we're basically done with this one. So part one is done. Let's move on to part two. This is my favorite. Alrighty, so part one is done. Part two is my favorite. I use this with each and every single one of my stickers. This one makes your skin look extremely realistic, vibrant at the same time. It's gonna take a little bit longer because I actually have to worry about values. I gotta worry about how the face is shaped and everything. So watch this. I'm gonna start off with a base color. And it's probably gonna be the same color as I use over here to the left. But watch this. This one, you have to separate everything. You got to. So I'm gonna do another layer for the shadows. Clip mask that down. Get out my soft brush. And let's go to town on this thing. Watch this. Now with this, I'm just gonna hint. I'm gonna do lightly brush areas underneath the hair, of course, if you guys can see. Underneath the eyes, underneath the neck. Now this is going to be shadowed completely different than the other one over here. Now you guys are probably wondering how I know where to shade at. This is all about knowing anatomy. If you know anatomy, you know where the muscles pop up at, you know where all the folds on your body end up at, you know where the protruding parts are coming, so that part is going to be lighter. You all learn this by learning anatomy. I suggest you guys learn anatomy first before you even learn how to do this stuff, but just pay attention to what I'm doing right now so you can get a basis on where to put certain shadows at. and then you can learn your anatomy later and just be like, and then you really gonna get in depth with what you can do. All right, this is good for the first step. We're gonna get darker, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change my brush up. I'm gonna actually change it to, let's go hard brush. Smudge tool. Smudge tool is very, very good for blending. That's why I use the hard brush anyway. So I'm gonna blend this in. And don't worry about being messy. Be messy. Just get these colors on, get these values straight, and you can just blend all of it together. That looking good right there. Now we're gonna keep on getting more in depth on the left side. We're gonna bring that in more, and then we're gonna start adding some highlights in the skin to make it more vibrant. Of course, my main thing is vibrancy. I love vibrant. I think that's pretty good for right now for this. Wait. Let me get this right quick. There we go. Yeah, I think we're pretty good for this right now. This is a good base. It's a little dark, but that's cool. We can always lighten it, brighten it up. But so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put a layer above this one, and I'm gonna do highlights. And I'm gonna go over the shadow portions to make everything come together. Watch. Okay, so now that we got the highlights out the way, we can actually go in and do the shadows. And what I mean by the shadows is, we can do the very, very dark parts to make this more sharp, because right now it just looks like it's just a bunch of meshes of colors and stuff. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna do the dark shadows, and we're gonna use a very sharp brush for this. Watch this. I think we're about done with that part. So now we can do one more thing, and this is my favorite part. This is what actually going to make it look like skin. I gotta explain this thoroughly though, so this is not a part that's normal, so I have to really explain this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create another layer above it. I'm gonna clip it, and then I'm gonna use a brush called Flicks, and it's like these little flickery thingies that look like spray paint almost. And I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna go up here to my colors, and I'm gonna go down dark. Not black, but dark, kind of like right here. Bam. And what I'm gonna do, since it's already clipped, is everything I do is gonna end up in here. So watch this. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. And go over the entirety of the skin like this, but only once over. You don't want to do it twice, just do it once over, and that's it. And then what I do is I'm gonna go up to this layer. I'm gonna make it be maybe soft light overlay. Let's do, yeah, we're gonna do soft light for right now. I'm gonna take the opacity, bring it down, probably to about maybe 34-ish, right there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my eraser, soft brush. I'm gonna kind of go in. I kind of had it a little bit bigger than I wanted to, but it's still gonna serve its purpose. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in, erase a little bit, not too much. Just lightly. Very lightly, just go over it. You're not erasing all of it, you're just lightly glazing over it, and that's about it. But you guys can kind of see how it resembles pores on the skin. That's basically what I'm trying to do. And this look gives it that realistic look when it comes to the skin. But it's like a mixture because it's anime, cell shading mixed with realism, skin tones and stuff like that. So it's a good mixture. It's good for illustrations. And I'll say there we go for right now. I still gotta add my little redness, you know, my blushes and stuff. Alrighty, and because I'm a tryhard, there's another one I want to do too. I want to add an add layer. Add, and this is for, of course, the reflections. I don't know why I didn't do it before, but sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. It all depends on how I feel. But I'm gonna do it for this one. I'll say we about done. Like I said before, you guys can barely see it because it's fucking my fucking resolution sucks dick. I hope you guys actually like this so far. I hope I'm actually teaching you guys a little bit. Both of these styles are actually very useful. This one, of course, takes the longest because it has more detail on it and stuff like that. I actually can go further, but I'm not going to go further. But 9 times out of 10, when I'm doing bigger scale projects, I would do the cell, like the cell shading one first, period. That's helpful with any scenario. But this one, I use this for stickers and shit like that. It's perfect for that. It makes it pop, especially if you're putting stickers on anything. It just makes it seem like it's the most detailed thing on your desk or your cup or your PS5 or whatever you're gonna put them on. But yeah, so hope this shit was useful. I hope it was useful. I think I taught you guys something. I don't know, but yeah, let's move on to the third one. And for the third one, the most important thing about that is